Okay, quick overview on how Brightsites works. You want to start out by going to controller.mybrightsites.com, logging in. Then if you're editing a particular website, you go to the arrow to go to the back end. If you need to change features, you go into here and add a coupon or whatever, depending on what your needs are. I'll look over orders that have been placed. There haven't been any on this one. Reports, if somebody asks for a particular sales report, product report, something like that, you'd go in there under reports. We don't use that much. Product categories, go to product. If you need to edit something that's already there, you hit the edit button there. If you want to view it on the front end, you hit view. If you need to deactivate it real quick, you can hit that as a switch. If you need to get rid of it completely, you would hit that. Be very careful not to do that. Most of the time we don't need to. And then duplicate product in case you need two different versions of the same product. So if you go into edit, this is the main page. Is it going to be your title, SKU, minimum order quantity, the base price, setup charge if there is one, retail price you don't need to put, cost you don't need to put. And once you have all that set up, you can hit save. Product description, you can usually copy and paste that from the product page on ESP. Categories and vendors, you want to make sure it's in the right place. This is a print product. Vendor, I don't know who it was, but or who we're using, but eventually when we have that settled, you write their name in there. Shipping, very important. You want to make sure it's the exact right weight, length, width, height. Usually website ESP is going to give you that based on a block of like say 50 or so. So you would need to divide the weight by 50, need to get the total volume, then divide by 50, then divide by one side, and then get the square root to get the two other sides. Then you go to images, upload what you have. Typically you're going to get those also from ESP. Hopefully they have blanks. If not, we would need to create some. You go into product options. You don't always need this, but if there, say, is a variant like the different kinds of logos used in this particular item, there's 3 different versions of the bison logo. So there's bison wealth, bison by itself. So that's specific to this site, so that you can select your specific logo in options. But in other places like Cox, they're going to be virtual logos. So let's just pick this item. Options, there's only one color apparently that we're using. Personalizations is just a catch-all thing. Go into that. The only personalizations we've used, I think, is this blank slate thing, which is just any instructions we haven't given you an option for, you can describe them here. And if you go into virtual logo for this particular item, we have that enabled. And we have a logo applied to the center of this bag. And when you're on the front end, you can choose from different versions of the logo. If you don't want all of those logos, which you don't, say engraved is definitely got to be disabled. If you want to check to make sure that that doesn't appear, you would go under products, under logo management, logos, and say find sharp engraved. We want to make sure that's not enabled for that particular item. So you go into that logo, you go to permissions, it's shown on all of those. So you go to products, and I think it was called like Control F rainbow something. Yeah, rainbow drawstring bag. So it's not clicked, it's not selected. That means it is hidden. Hide on all products except, so it's only available or seen on that particular item, and that makes sense because those are some of the few on here that are laser engraved. But we do want to make sure that, like, say, sharp blue is showing up, but we don't want sharp black, so let's make sure that's disabled. Go into edit logo, then permissions, products, find that one particular, so that is selected. Hide on all products except. So that is visible. I don't know why I did that, because it's a black on black item. I don't know if they would want that option visible. It's sort of like a subtle thing. I'm gonna leave it alone, I guess, because it could be someone wants it like particularly subtle to the point where it's almost invisible. You never know. I might have done that for a reason, so I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. But yeah, that's basically how that works. Double color thing. I don't know if we would want that on there. You would have to check on the product page where we got it to see if two colors can be used, because this is a two-color logo, so it might involve a surcharge. So I guess it's disabled right now. It's not selected, so it's hidden, so that's not an option. So it's probably the case that two-tone one there isn't an option, because they can only do one color at a time on that. And you have to be pretty mindful of that when adding items, just in case. Okay, moving on. Code files you don't really need to worry about. Store design. Current design option, usually leave that alone. Site-wide, if there's a change you need to make to the colors, you can go and to site-wide, change it under colors. Header, typically that's standard, 1200 pixels wide. Background color for the header is white. I'm gonna leave that alone. Category links position is in the bottom header bar, so let me show what that means. So category links are these are the different categories, and that's in the bottom header bar. And then that's the top header bar, and that shows the different pages. And if you want them all, say, in line with the top header bar, you can change that in this category links if you wanted to change it. If you wanted them hidden, you can hide them there. Navigation links in line with logo. Top header bar. Oh yeah, top header bar actually would be above the logo. In line with logo is next to it. And then you could also have those hidden. Logo, that's important. Someone else will probably give that to you if you need to add something. You would upload it here and then adjust the width and height independently and try to make sure that the ratio is the same so that it doesn't get squashed or stretched. Logo margin is usually going to be that automatically. You can just leave that alone. Link font size, if they come with notes and say they want it bigger, you can adjust it so that it goes, I guess, up to 48 or smaller. Link transform, if you want it to transform when you hover over those, you can do it there. Link weight, normal, link decoration. You can write underline or bold, I think, is another option. Or hover, weight, you change from normal to bold or underline, something like that. Or decoration, you would put underline. For now, you can hover background, color, you can change that if you want the background to change when you hover. Link hover color could be the same as like the link color itself. If you want it to change, you can change it there. Drop down, you can leave that. Top navigation bar. Don't have anything written there right now, but if you need to notify the entire site of something, like say, hey, this is under construction, please don't order anything, or we're having a sale, often we'll use that. Top header bar, that's the bar above the logo. Bottom header bar, that's the settings for where the category links are right now, and you can change those settings there. Search, usually that's just black and white, but if you wanted to change the text specifically to match the blue of the website or something, you can change it there. Breadcrumbs, I don't know if we have those enabled, we do. I think these are the automatic colors that come on those, so you can change those to match the theme if you need to. Slideshow, slideshow full width. So that's something I guess we came up with. I don't know if we're using that. I'll check in a sec. If you need a caption, you can put that here. Your main title, you can put that here. If you need it to link to something, you can put the URL there. And you just upload the image to that and hit show if you wanted it to be visible. Content, typically it's 1200 pixels. If you needed to change that, it would be here. If you wanted to change something about the thumbnails, their size, color, decoration, something about the way they behave when hovering over them, the number of thumbnails per page, and then the footer, that's typically just going to have like copyright information, the color of the website at the bottom. You can change the font, you can change the colors, you can change the social icons if you need to. This one actually does have social icons, so it's currently set for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. And if we need to change that to say Instagram, we have done that. You would enable it, put the Instagram there, and then we would have to go into the code files to change the look of it. Typically, you don't need to worry about that. And I was gonna look for something, I forget. Yeah, we don't have banners. So there, just leave that alone. Pages, if you wanted to add an about us with the explanation for the company or something, you can add that there. There's currently a contact us. So yeah, it's just basic information on that page that you can see. That can be as elaborate or simple as you need it to be. Taxes, you can kind of leave that alone. Coupons, if we have a coupon, you can go in here, add a coupon, type out whatever name you want it to be, and then however you want it to behave, either taking off a percentage or a certain dollar amount. Gift certificates basically act the same way. Integration, don't really need to worry about that. Settings, site info, if you want to add a company name, specific location, that will probably end up on the footer of the main page if you want to add that information there. I don't think they want that public though. Custom domain, we have used that. Right now it's Cox Swag. It used to be just Cox Group, my Brightsites. Some people care about that, some people don't. If we do need a custom domain, Tej can handle that, the purchasing and setting that up. Notifications, if you need to add your email, this is currently how it's set up for orders that come through on the Cox site. If you want to make sure they send welcome emails, that's all automatic. Confirmation emails as well. Check out, this is yeah, this is basically just you know, we're copied on the confirmation emails for sales. If you wanted to add yourself there, you could. Store options, checkout options. So yeah, just slightly different things on the checkout. You can change custom data collection. I think we did something for that. If you want like a specific question asked before they check out. Yeah, so for this, I don't know if we have it. Yeah, it's not required, but you can say the specific event name and like a school if it's you know, the items being bought are going to an event or a school. But you can make that whatever you want if we need it. Payments, payment gateway, typically that's something handled by Tej. That's Stripe Connect, and then you go into Stripe Connect, you set that up. That's not information either of us are privy to, so we just leave that to Tej. Custom payment, if we wanted it so that we can send an invoice later, we could enable that and then set that up so that they can purchase the thing and go through it, and then we would handle the actual money exchange later. And let's see, if you wanted to add a new product option, you know, say a particular item comes with or without pockets, you can specifically add that here. And like edit the setup so that the name might be different, or if there are, you know, sub names, and say no pocket, or one pocket, or, you know, 2 pockets, however much you need there to be. Hit save, and then you can import that particular option to whatever product you need it on. So let's edit that. You go into product options, you enable those, and say you wanted to add that pocket option, you would just hit pockets, accept. If you needed to add a color option, typically there are going to be different images for those. Show in inventory, show main ad. Yeah, show in main images, that would have it so that these 2 images show up on like the main crawl that you can choose from as your main image. Allow virtualization, that allows you to put virtual logos on there or whatever information. Show as thumbnails, that's also important. If it's a size, you would want to hit multiple quantities so that they can hit or choose multiple of different options instead of just one option. Cancel, I don't think I want any of those available. Yeah, so if you were to go into size, multiple quantity allows you to pick multiple of each option instead of just choosing one option. Product personalization, this is just a catch-all. If we enable that, it gives, I think I already went over that. Yeah, it just gives the customer an opportunity to say specifically what they want in here, but you can have it labeled as whatever you want, and you can have a default text in here as a note for whatever they want. Related products, if you enable that, that's automatic. Quantity discounts, you would want that enabled for most things. You'd go into it, you would see this mostly on ESP, the specific price breakdown for that item. It's just some data input, really. Categories, if you want to add a banner for each category, you can. We have done that in the past. Sign, yeah, whatever that. And that is just about everything. If you have questions, just contact me directly.